In this chapter so far, we've explored how Asterisk handles call queuing and how to configure permanently logged in static queue members. In this module, we'll learn how to configure dynamic queue members, which is the most common way of assigning members to queues in Asterisk. Dynamic queue members can be added and removed from a queue on the fly. They're not constrained by being logged in whenever Asterisk is running. They can log in and out as necessary. In fact, Asterisk offers a way for dynamic queue members to be remembered even if Asterisk is restarted. If set to yes, the queues.conf configuration option, persistent members, causes Asterisk to update an internal database when dynamic members are logged in or out. This database maintains state even while Asterisk is not running, so when Asterisk restarts, it can remember which dynamic members were logged in when it stopped and treat them as if they're still logged in. This setting is enabled by default. Let's look at the two most common ways that dynamic queue members can be added or removed from a queue. An administrator with CLI access can manually manage queue members easily. The command queue_add_member followed by the endpoint or interface, followed by the word to, followed by the queue name, adds a member to a queue. Here we're using an interface called sip/phone-3, which we have not defined in sip.conf. It's important to note that Asterisk doesn't perform any validation or error checking on the interface name. In fact, we could even misspell sip and it wouldn't warn us, so be careful when using this command. Asterisk will validate the queue name. If you try to add a member to a non-existent queue, Asterisk will inform you that there's no such queue and the command will fail. Remember that we can get the status of a queue, including any members and callers in it, by typing queue show on the CLI. Here we can see the static queue member we added in the last module, as well as both the members we just added dynamically. Notice that the non-existent member, where we misspelled sip, is still present. Because that's not a real endpoint, let's remove it from the queue. To do so, we'll use the syntax queue_remove_member, followed by the member name, then the word from, then the queue from which to remove them. The CLI tells us the member was removed, but we can also confirm by running queue show again. This method of adding and removing endpoints from the queue is meant for an administrator. It isn't necessarily the most efficient way of managing queue membership. To add power and flexibility to the system, we can set up extensions and dial plan applications that perform similar functions. The dial plan applications, add queue member and remove queue member, allow someone to log into a queue by dialing an extension. In their simplest forms, you can specify just the queue to add the member into, which is what we've done here in extensions.conf. You can also set various other options, including adding an interface other than the one which dialed the extension. To add a member to more than one queue by dialing a single extension, you would call add queue member once per queue at different dial plan priorities. Remove queue member works in the same way. Back on the Asterisk CLI, we can run queue show to see the current members of the queue. To add phone 1 to the queue, we'll dial 6200 from that endpoint. Asterisk sends us a notice informing us that the member has been added. To confirm this, we can run queue show, where we see sip/phone-1 has been added as a member to the support queue. To remove phone-1 from the queue, we'll dial 6201 from that endpoint. We then run queue show, where we see phone 1 is no longer a member of the support queue. In addition to CLI and dial plan tools to add and remove members from a queue, there is also a way to pause a queue member. Asterisk will not try to distribute a queue call to a member for a queue in which the member is paused, regardless of how many calls are queued. Pause state is managed per queue, so it is possible for a member of multiple queues to be paused in one queue but not in another. The tools for managing pausing let you globally pause or unpause a member in all queues, or to specify a single queue. The syntax for each is displayed here. You can use either the CLI command or the dial plan application to accomplish pausing actions. Pause status only matters in relation to queues, which means that a member can still receive calls directly from a dial statement, even if they are paused from the perspective of the queue module. In this module, we covered dynamic queue members. We discussed how to add and remove dynamic members from the Asterisk CLI and by using dial plan applications. We also discussed how to pause and unpause queue members. In the next module, we'll discuss a few additional queue options that can be vital to creating successful queuing solutions.